So, okay, our team call tonight is, I titled it, "What we do today will benefit us tomorrow," kind of thing. I can't remember the words I used exactly, but because I wanted Teresa to speak to like why it's important to push for your goals, but keep your eye on the big picture, like so that if it doesn't immediately happen, you just keep going, and like why that's paid off for her big time. And so I'm going to have her share her story in a second. But Teresa is my upline sponsor coach. She did not directly invite me. I watched her. She indirectly invited me by just being a product of the product and showing her life journey and talking about how this is benefiting her on a daily basis. And she was like the least salesy person ever. She just was like, here's what I'm doing. I'm meal prepping. I worked out. Here's my results. And I just was really attracted to that. And so whether or not you think people are watching, and you're just like, what is the point? I'm not going to post. Nobody's even seen my stuff. That's not true, because you never know who is watching right now in the moment and seeing what you're doing and will reach out to you at some point. And then she just shared, you know, she was talking about having people join her team, and she posted something about the military discount. And I was like, what is this thing? I want in. But the cool thing about Teresa is that she comes from, her family was farm workers in the fields here in Arizona, and had a really, you know, hard life growing up. She went to college, graduated, and I'll let her talk about that. But something hard happened with her career, and she ended up desperate for a job at the mall. I hired her because I was like, she seems different. Like, she'll bring a different dynamic to the team. And like, you know, I just wanted somebody else on the team that had her spunkiness, and we just hit it off. And so we have worked together, known each other for a really long time. But the one thing I wanted to point out is that throughout this business, she and I kind of have done things like the hard way. We've just kind of figured it out as we go in a lot of ways, and tried and error. But she never, ever would give up. Like, we talk to each other all the time, and we're like, I'm so frustrated, or I don't even know what this is, like, if this is working. I feel like I'm talking to nobody and no one's listening, or, you know, there's those valleys, those hard valleys. But having a person that says, it's all right, girl, it happens. Let's try this. Did you try this? Have you thought of doing this? Well, maybe this would be more fun, or maybe we should jump onto this. And you just keep brainstorming and pulling each other in the right direction, and remind each other of your goals. And some of the best things she's done for me is done the big girl panty talk, like, all right, so it's not that bad, so get back in it, kind of thing, and just reminded me to get back on the horse when I needed to. So Teresa's a wonderful person, and I hope you guys all get to meet her at Summit. So Teresa, you are what? 8-star qualifying? Husband, diamond. Mm-hmm. Tell me all your ranks.
8-star qualifying. Husband is dying. Diamond. He's not dying, I promise. He's a diamond. My second CB is a lifetime 2-star. We're 1-star right now. And my third CBC is diamond.
So she's franchised herself 3 times. Like, Beachbody's like, you got this going on, sister. You get the opportunity at 2-star to open up another business center. So they think that she's the bomb crap and has been able to do that. She's also a 2014 and 15, right? Mm-hmm. What years were those? Elite coach. So she's in the top 0.01% of the company. And we know that's a team effort. And that's not based on your old coaches. That's helping your new people rise up the ladder. So she continues to build success. She's also a millionaire. She's part of the Beachbody Millionaire Club. You guys, how cool is that our mama bear is a millionaire? She's earned over $1 million with this. She's currently building her dream home, and she was able to retire from her awesome, I don't even know how much she made, like 6-figure computer job or whatever it was, and stay home, which was her dream come true, was to be able to be home with her cute little kids. Kayson's what, 2? Almost 2?
No, he's 2. Kaya's almost 5.
Kaya's going into kindergarten. So she gets to be a mommy bear, a homeroom mommy. So anyway, I'll stop talking. Go for it, lady. You're gonna do it.
Well, thank you guys for getting on, and thank you, Emma, for asking me to get on. You know, we talk about this all the time because we love it, right? It's funny that Emma talked about it, you know, how me and her met was I got laid off from my awesome out of college job where I was making $50,000 a year. And then on month 2, I got an email and they laid me off. And it was just funny that she mentioned that, because today when I was driving home from my daughter's preschool celebration graduation thing, I was at the stoplight and I looked up, and that was the building where I got laid off. And it was like a whole circle moment, at that moment, because I looked up at that. 'Cause I remember I was so mad. It was so mad because I thought I was the shit. I got out of college. I was making $50,000 a year. Like, who does that? Like, my parents never even got close to making something like that. And I just fresh out of college and I got this job, and literally, like, not even full 2 months later, since I was the last one to get hired. Of course, I was the first one to get laid off. And that, it taught me that when we're working for somebody else, we are dispensable, like it's the bottom line for them. Even though as much they might love you, or they might, a corporation will think that you're such a great worker, it's about their bottom line, and so that taught me that I needed something more, but I didn't know where. And I looked and was like afraid to go home. And thank God that Emma decided to give me a chance, because nobody else wanted to give me a job. Like, I was either too qualified, they knew I wasn't going to stay. And so Emma, and that moment, would have been a really good time to give up and just get mad and, whatever. But, that things happen for a reason. I would have never met Emma, and I would never have had that knowing that this working for somebody isn't for somebody for 40 years and waiting to get retired from, wasn't a safe bet. That wasn't going to always be that secure thing that they teach us. You go to school, they teach you, go to school, get your degree, go get a job, work for them for 40, 50 years, and then you get to retire and live. And, 2 months into my big girl life, I was told, no, that's not it. You're dispensable. No matter what, you are dispensable. You're replaceable. So, then Beachbody came. And for me, I had always been, I don't know who's heard my story, but I've been a Beachbody customer for years. I had Power 90. I had, the old Turbo Jam, old hip hop abs, and, but I just never knew about the coaching. And then social media came, and then I got presented the business, and I thought they were crazy, because I thought I was, Miss Cool person with the degree in engineering mathematics. I don't do Mary Kay. I don't do home parties or whatever. So, that was just the dumb part of me not knowing exactly what this was, but I got into it for the discount. And that was the only reason I was going to get into the discount. And then a couple months into the business, I was messing around in the back office, just checking back there, seeing, what the heck is this? And coming from a developer background, the back office, the coach online office made me so mad, because it was just horrible. I was like, who designed this? I hate this. This is so dumb. I can redo this and make it so much better. But anyways, I was looking at videos, and I saw this video of Christine Dwyer, and, she's holding this quarterly check, and it was like, what she made in a quarter in this extra check was like double what I made at the job that I currently was at. And I was like, well, hold up, this, what, you're going to make some money, and they're doing exactly what I'm doing anyways, because I already was a coach. I was already, benefiting from the discount. I was already posting my workouts and stuff. So I talked to my husband, and I was like, hey, we need to sign you up, because we've always talked about me being a stay-at-home mom. Both our moms worked, and we didn't want that. Me, fortunately, I had family to take care of me when my mom worked. He had, different babysitters, young ones, old ones, and they got into a lot of trouble, because there wasn't like, that adult figure all the time. And so we didn't want that. And, but at that time we didn't have a choice. If we would have had been pregnant at that moment, I would have had to work still 50, 60 hours a week. So we saw this as a ticket, and we just went for it, and it had that reason, that big why of being able to be a stay-at-home mom, so that I didn't have to worry about daycare or somebody else watching my kids, or spending the money on somebody watching my kids, has always been like my big picture. Through the last 6.5 years, I've had all these little mini, goals. We all have wrinkles. We want to be emerald. We want to be diamond. We want to be 5-star. We want to be 10-star. And as you guys have known, if you guys are new or you've been along, it goes up and down. Like, sometimes you hit it, you hit your rank goal, you hit your elite goal, and sometimes you miss it. And a lot of times you get a lot of no's too. And so if you don't have that big picture of why you're doing this, like whatever you're doing this for is not because you wanted to be a 15-star diamond coach. Like, you did not sign up to be a coach because you wanted to have the title of 15-star diamond coach. You became a coach either because you wanted to stay home, you wanted to pay off debt. You had this huge big picture, but I think a lot of times we get into the business and we have all these little mini goals and we miss them. And then we give up, or we have a month of people not responding to us. Everybody says no, everybody, so you have to keep that big picture in mind of why you're doing this, not that immediate glamour goal or that immediate shiny thing that, that, oh, so-and-so started with me and she's already at this and I didn't make it, so I must suck kind of thing,
I love that you went into this like right after you talked about getting laid off and fired, because like you worked so hard at school for that for how many years? 4 years?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
4.5.
4.5 years. And then you went and got a job and were laid off, and then you like were in another job, and like you worked years and years at that job. And if you compare that to what you've done with coaching, like if we were to all just say, I'm going to commit to 4 years of learning this business instead of like, I'm going to try this for 3 months, how much different it would be. You know what I mean? And in college, things suck too. Like,
yeah, it did. And the thing is about in college, those 4 years, I didn't make any money. I paid a lot of money and got in a lot of debt in those 4 years. 4 years of coaching and not giving up and not stopping and not letting somebody who are talking bad about me or a family saying that I'm crazy or whatever. I had a lot of debt I had to pay off. And in the 4 years of me coaching, even though maybe I may not have so it's all about just keeping your eye on the prize and remembering why you're doing something and not letting setbacks stop you, because you're always going to have a setback. Like, what is that saying? If you have one flat tire, you're not going to like slash all the other 4 tires. We all have setbacks. We all fall on our face. Every single coach, every single person in the world falls on their face. It's all about just getting back up and like remembering why you're doing this. And, there was actually, you might think some of the top coaches or, me or Emma never had that even like that idea, like, maybe this isn't for me. Like, there was a point, and I remember very clearly, it was the month before Kaysen was going to be born. And I was seriously on the verge of like, this sucks. I quit. Like, I can't do this anymore. Nobody cares what I'm saying. Nobody cares what I'm about. I've proven this already. And at that time, I already quit in my job. I had lost the weight the initial time. I lost the weight again after my daughter. I was, pregnant with my son, and nobody seemed to care about my experience. Nobody seemed to care. And it was like that whole month. First of all, I was pregnant, like the last month of my pregnancy. So it was like hormonal B word. And, and it was just like, it was so frustrating to me. And I was like, it would be so much easier if I would just go back to my programming job. Like, I'd only been like my own boss for a couple months, and it was hard trying to figure out the schedule with my daughter. And I thought it was going to be easy to stay at home and, do all this stuff, but you don't have that person telling you what to do all the time. And I literally was like, maybe I'm not suited for this. Maybe I'm not moving in my business like so-and-so is. I'm not going over here. And, everybody, these people started at the same time as I am, and I'm not there. And then I thought about it, and then I remembered, I got back to myself, and and remember the reason why I was doing this coaching. Yes, we all want to do this to help people. Like, we're not going to continue being a coach if that's not one of our goals, is to help people, to change somebody's life. But you have to remember, what was that real reason? And I didn't want to go work for somebody else. I wanted to be home with my second baby. I didn't want to have to, with Kaya, I had to have somebody watch her 2 days a week. And I didn't want that. I wanted to stay home. I didn't want to go, have to, even though it was 2 days a week, I didn't want to have to go there. I didn't want to have to pump. Like with Kaya, I had to go pump and fight people. I fought people trying to find a place to pump because I refused to go to the bathroom. I didn't want that, And so I was like, no. let me just keep doing and talking to people and figure out and talk to Emma. I'm like, what can I do? Who can I talk to? You know, how can I get my team? But because I didn't give up, and guess what? That next month, even though I popped out a baby, was probably my best month ever because of all the people that I kept talking to, you know, and I just didn't give up, trying to find a different way to get my voice heard, a different way to show that this business, anybody can do it if they're willing to work. So if you feel like you've had that moment where you're like, I want to give up, or this is not for me, or people are not listening, you have to just keep doing double what you were doing the times where people were listening. And those seeds will be planted, and then you'll keep going. Can you imagine my son that was born in 2013, if I would have quit right then and went back to work at Simpleview, I wouldn't be a 2014 elite coach. I wouldn't have been a 2015 elite coach. I would not have been inducted and in the accumulated $1 million in this business if I would have just been like, okay, I'm done. I can't do this. Nobody wants to hear me. You know, because I didn't hit a certain rank. I didn't do this. You know, I'm going to be honest with you. For the last 3 years, I've had a goal of being a 10-star coach. I'm still an 8-star coach. Did I quit? Can you imagine if the first year that I said I was going to be a 10-star coach and I didn't hit it and I quit? Look at a lot of these people. You know, I think that was even actually before Emma got on, you know, like a lot of people that I would have not touched or changed their lives or helped them lose weight or build my dream house right now that is worth over $1 million if I didn't hit that initial 10-star goal. If the second year I didn't hit it, the third year I didn't hit it, you know? So it all comes down to like you just having to just put your head down and remember what you're doing and go for it. Because if you quit, then you never know what the possibility can be. I tell my daughter that all the time, you know, she's like, I can't do it. I'm like, well, do you want to do it? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, you're never going to get good at it if you don't do it. You'll never do anything good the first time. And she looks at me crazy.
And I think if we were to poll the 33 people that are on here and say, hey, yo, would you rather be recognized for a 10-star diamond in this business or have accumulated $1 million and be building up your dream $1 million house in the area you want to live? If people were to choose between rank over like security and finances, I bet you they all are going to say, I'll choose security and money, right?
You know, yeah, and so that's the shiny
Nothing wrong
thing.
with rank, though. Nothing wrong with rank.
Nothing wrong with rank. And the thing is, you need the rank so you don't cap out. But you can't let rank determine where you're at. You can't let titles. It's all about the people you bring in and helping them, and just never quit and never stop talking to people. Like, I don't know if any of you guys are Beyonce fans. Maybe you're not. But in one of her songs, she says, I'm going to keep running because winners don't quit on themselves. And we're all winners. Huh?
I'm sorry, I'll stop interrupting. But just really quickly, do you mind sharing what you mean? Because I'm sure that I have coaches on here that are like, a lot of emeralds on the call right now that are pushing for diamond, whatever. And when they felt like, gosh, it's not working, like, what does you just go to work look like for you? Like, what do you do? What does that mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, to me, just going to work and I have few months where nobody wants to say anything and talk to me. It's just increasing the people that I'm talking to. It's just trying to get myself out there. I use my Facebook page a lot, and I spend the money to meet new people that way, and I will just keep sending messages. I track who I'm talking to, and I just keep talking to them and not talking about Beachbody, you know, the initial time we talked about it because they commented on a post about joining my Beachbody team or joining a challenge group, and then it comes down like they weren't interested or it wasn't their time. I don't write them off. I just keep talking to them, and I keep going through my Evernote. I'm trying to use a new system now. But it's just the following up and constantly talking to them and constantly being the product, like always sharing what I'm doing. You know, if you heard my story, you know, with, you know, some of the other leaders in Team Motivate, like Dara or Jessica, you know, they're the ones that they'll say, I talked to them for a whole year, you know, and Emma, no, I didn't reach out to her, but I constantly was sharing, working out, what I was eating, and just sharing what was going on in my life. And that attracted her, that still built trust with her. So she reached out to me when it was her time. So it was like just not stopping doing, and it's cliche, and we hear it every national wake-up call. We hear it every time a coach talks about, but it's because it's the truth. It's your vital behaviors every day, even when you don't want to do it. Adding people to your network, inviting them to something, following up with people, and doing your personal development so that you can always remember that you deserve a better life. Because if you believe that you deserve a better life, you're going to do whatever it freaking takes to get that better life. But you have to believe it, and you have to believe in the products. And the only way you're going to believe in the products is if you use the products. If you're drinking your Shakeology, if you don't do that, then how do you know it's actually going to really work for you? And how can you share that with other people? And if you're not doing it and you're not drinking it, why would anybody buy it from you? There's over 400,000 coaches in our network. And if you're not doing it, they're going to go find somebody who is doing it and is sharing the results and sharing the results of their challengers to show that it's working, right? So that's a little bit about me. I mean, I had about, let's say, 15 things that I was thinking about, like what helps me keep going when I don't hit a milestone, when I feel like nobody's listening, or, just I feel like I'm defeated, because we all feel that, we're all like at that moment, like we're at the bottom, you're like, what the heck is going on? And how that I keep going like the next day. So the first thing was that no matter what, and you hear this in every training that you do, everything you're going to do, they always talk about the first thing is having a why. And not a PC why, not a politically correct why, not, oh, I want to help people and I want to save the world. Like everybody wants to do that. Like a real why, like I want to stay home with my kids. I want to make money so I can pay off my debt. I want to go on vacations. I want a savings account. Like that real why, not, we all want to help people. Like we're not here if we didn't have something in us that wanted to help somebody in some way, right? But you have to have that really, and then you have to have that. And number two is you have to have a visual of what you want. Whether you do it a dream board, or you have an audio that you listen to, or you take 5 minutes every day to imagine what your life is going to be when you hit that why or hit that goal. You need a visual of it so that you can remind yourself of it. And that's what's going to keep your eye on the prize. Whether you didn't hit the little steps to get there, it's going to help you try to find a different way to get to those little steps. The third thing is, like I mentioned before, you have to believe that you deserve an amazing life. You have to honestly believe that there's something better for you. If you don't believe that, then you're not going to do what you have to do to get there. If you don't truly believe, and what's going to help you believe that is your personal development. I remember when I first started hearing about personal development, I was like, oh my God, all I could think about was that SNL skit, and the guy's looking in the mirror and say, and people, darn it, like me. And I'm like, dude, I don't need that. Like, this is dumb. But when I started to see, like, what am I doing that other leaders aren't doing? Why am I not there? And everything was consistent when I went to Summit, and I kept hearing, and they were saying they were reading personal development. I'm like, all right, I'll give this a try. Like, doing everything else, let me try this. And seriously, that has changed. Learning about how to like me, and be happy with me, and then knowing that whatever I want, I deserve to get that. And you have to believe that, because if you don't believe it, you're not going to do the hard stuff. And there's a lot of hard stuff to do what we do, right? All the talking and the finding out and doing all that stuff, that's hard. But you're not going to do that if you don't believe you deserve a better life. And the other thing, number 4, is you got to stay consistent. Emma is one person that, as your leader, she always is consistent. She always shows up no matter what. No matter what is going on in her life, this girl is showing up. She's getting on national wake-up calls. She's being there for you. She's being there for me. Like, and that is what's going to make you different from somebody else, is like just staying consistent. Even if you don't feel like it, even if you're pregnant or you're sick, or, just one post, just saying, oh, I don't feel good. And you did it. You showed up. If you committed to something, do it. Like, you have to show up. You have to be consistent. That is what's going to make it. Like I said, I did not 2 years or 3 years or, overnight. This took a lot of work, and why I'm where I am today is being consistent. And number 5 is always staying connected to what's going on, knowing what's going on with your business, knowing what's going on with your team, connecting with your upline, connecting with your downline. Like, don't just go MIA and then come back and expect things just to be the same. Like, you need to stay connected. You need to see what's going on with Beachbody. Like, it's your job now to be like, seeing what, Beachbody 401 is posting on Facebook or what your news thing. That is your job. Like, you have to stay connected. And then number 6 is the vitals, doing all 4 of them every single day. Like, you have to do that. And that's part of being consistent. The other thing is, I feel, is you have to have a thick skin. You have to have a thick skin and let what people may say, their negative or their no's, just roll off your back, because you have a bigger purpose. And you have your heart, you're leading with your heart. So you're not doing anything wrong. So it's not you that they're upset about or they're saying something negative to you. It's them. There's something wrong with them. It has a reflection of what's going on in their life. So you just got to get a thick skin, put your big girl pants on, say, hey, okay, bless and release, and go to somebody else. Or, if it's your family. I've had a lot of family think I was crazy. Guess what? They're all in Shakeology now. It took a while, but you got to get a thick skin and just, if you have to be mean about it and just say, hey, F you, bye, see you later. I'm going to go help somebody else. But this is a business, so you have to be a little bit thick skinned. And if you don't have that initially, come talk to me. I'll help you get that, because I'm pretty good at helping you get a little thick skin on that one. So set your goals is number 8, and giving it your all, no matter what, Yes, I'm very sassy. Set your goals and giving it your all, and don't ever quit. You just can't quit. You can't quit if you fall on your face. You fell on your face. Like, something that my grandmother used to say, it's like you're walking up a mountain and you can't get up and you fall down, then go around the other side of the mountain. The mountain has a lot of sides to get up to the top. So you can't quit. You just got to find a different way to get up there. Try new things, like talk to your upline, talk to your team, brainstorm, try to find new things that are working, but also too, don't jump ship on something right away. Like, if something is working, just because like you're doing something that is working, and then you hear a national wake up call and they say they're doing something completely different, don't change it just because it sounded cool. If it's working, then keep doing it, but be willing to try new things if whatever you are doing isn't working, and and be open-minded and be willing to learn. The big thing is stop comparing yourself to other people. Compare yourself to what you did yesterday, compare yourself to what you did last year, and be happy about the progress that you made, even if it's little. Don't look at what other people are doing, and that's just going to hurt you emotionally and psychologically, and your self-esteem is just going to go away. Just worry about what you're doing. And if you're not progressing, then change what you're doing, because you have the power to be better than you were yesterday. So do that. Like I said, never stop learning, doing your personal development, getting leadership books, getting, hoorah books, like just trying anything, getting books of people you look up to, just finding out what their struggles were and seeing what they're doing and how they overcame it, because that can help you overcome whatever you're doing. Again, staying connected with your team. I did that twice. But anyway, stay connected with your team. Don't go MIA. That's like the worst thing. And don't ignore people who send you messages. That's like awful. Don't do that to your upline. What is it? Don't give up on the people who are dependent on you. If you think about it, it's one of the things that made me a few times not throw in the towels. Like, I have so-and-so and so-and-so that decided to buy this 2 months ago, and I promised I was going to help them lose the weight, or I promised them that I was going to help them build their business. If I quit now, I just, I let them down. Like, you are a leader. Even if you have one person that joined your challenge group or one person on your team, you have become a leader. You have people depending on you. So that's kind of rude if you quit, like you're there to help them out. And then, you know what? Give yourself a break. It's okay. Like, if you didn't hit something, you didn't hit a milestone, that sucks. I know, it's horrible. Go drink some wine, go punch a bag, whatever. But the next morning, say, hey, I tried it. Let's try something else. Like, it's okay. Like, it's okay that we fail sometimes, like it's okay that I got laid off, because if I hadn't got laid off or worked on my butt and I worked for that company for a whole year as an intern, and then became full-time and then got laid off. So I worked for them. They gave me stats after I was laid off. I was the number 3 contributor to the code that they got an award for, and I got laid off. And then when I tried to go reapply to that job because they had openings, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go reapply. They wanted me to take a test to see if I could join their team, their new established team. And I told them some nice words and I didn't apply. But because I was like, yo, I was the third contributor to your software that you got an award for, but now I have to take a test. Like, so it's like, give yourself a break, go on, it's over, do something else, And then I think the main thing, and I know I've fallen into this, especially when we follow so many different coaches that rise to the fame and, is don't ever forget who you are. Don't ever forget that number one thing, your why. And don't forget why you're doing this, even though they have nice, shiny things. And, don't forget your priorities, but don't forget who you are. And, if you're not somebody that, can, like, I heard of the coach say, I tried so hard and I would do fitness videos, but that really wasn't them. And until they went to their own being who they were, and because the thing is, if you be who you are, then you're going to attract the people that are going to work the best with you. So you just have to really remember who you are, remember what you're doing, and just not give up. And we have all the tools for you to be successful. You have support. Look at how many people are on this team. I'm going to tell you, I've done team calls. I've never had this many people on the call. So this is awesome. Look at all of the support, all these little boxes of everybody on here that can help you, build you up, be the shoulder for you. You're not by yourself, but just, you have a main purpose, and don't forget that. Kind of went a little off, I know, but okay, I'm done. I'm out.
Just like walks away. Thank you, Steve, for sharing what you did. And it's true. It comes down to just being very specific about what the heck you want and not letting anyone get in your way of getting there. And I guess sometimes that's what's challenging, is that you can compare yourself to other people. I mean, you and I have done it. And when we do that, when you are comparing yourself to everyone else, you lose your voice. You just do. You don't even know what your life is about anymore. But I just think you're amazing at being able to always honor like what your priorities and values are. So you're awesome. And Teresa has been with the company since back when they were still using like 8 tracks.
Shut up. I'm old, but I'm not that old. Good, right?
You still look good. No, but you really have been there a while. You've seen a lot of change that's happened and grown and blossomed. And the tools that we have now versus when we all started you are completely set up for success as long as you're plugging into the right activities every day and making sure that you're showing up by adding value to people, making genuine relationships, and honoring who you are. And I think that's like what she does in a nutshell. Do you guys have any questions for her? I'm sure she would be happy to take a couple.
Oh, yeah. The kids are being watched. I don't have to worry about them.
Yay. And if you watch her on her Facebook page, like, she is super consistent with her own personal transformation, even though she had a couple babies. And I mean, no offense, T, but like, she is not like, when she has babies, she does gain weight. Like, some mamas don't gain a pound. Like, they're just all belly. Like, she's like, we're like, no, we're pregnant.
I get pregnant in my nose, y'all.
Yeah, we are all pregnant. Like, the whole thing.
I remember seeing pictures of me after Kaya, and I was like, people be lying to me saying I was a cute pregnant, because I'm not cute pregnant. I had 2 babies, but I was not cute pregnant.
You said that to me once. You're like, you're lying to my face. But no, what I'm trying to say is, like, by showing your personal transformation and showing that it was hard for you to like lose the weight, and it's hard for you to come back, like, you fight for it. And I think people love to see that. Sorry. Go ahead, whoever.
I think somebody said they had a question.
I have a question.
Okay.
You said that you had times where you felt that people just didn't want to hear what you had to say. What kind of thoughts and beliefs did you have to tell yourself to push past that?
I believe in the products, and I know this business can create amazing things because I've seen it with my life. I've seen it with so many other people on our team, above us, to the side, to the left. You know what I mean? Like, I truly, really believe that if people do what they are kind of told, you know, with the workout programs, if they follow the workout programs, if they follow the meal plans, if they follow the tools for being a coach, I know in my heart that this business can be successful. I know the programs will be successful. So that's what keeps me going, because I have ultimate belief in everything that we have with Beachbody. I am a Beachbody lifer. Like you know, Emma said, not only have I been coaching for, you know, almost 7 years, I've been using their products since like 2002. So there are people and there's still people. I mean, even today I was talking to someone, oh, I just can't do the shake thing. You know, I was like, all right, well, come back to me in a year or so when I'm looking better and you used to look the same. Like that's my thought process, you know, like I know I'm going to continue to be healthier and look good and feel good, and you're not. So catch you on the flip side. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Teresa, I have a quick question.
Hey, girl.
Hey. Okay, one is from somebody that can't unmute themselves, and they wanted to know, what do you recommend as the first step for personal development? That's the first one, and then I have a second one.
You know, God, every personal development I have been reading, I've been falling in love with. Right now, my favorite one, and I'm going to tell you guys, I am not a fan of this woman. I could not stand Biggest Loser. I stopped watching it because I didn't like her, but now I want her to be my best friend, is Unlimited by Jillian Michaels. That for me was a big transformation internally and mentally, just some of the things that she talked about and the practices and the I don't know, the homework, I guess, the things that you had to do to, like, you know, and I think that really helped with my confidence. I mean, I do sound like I'm always confident, but I'm not, you know, a lot of the times I'm like this small little introvert girl that's like, you know, I get my feelings hurt a lot, but I can cover it up very well, you know, and in that book it gave me a lot of, I actually liked it better than You're a Badass, and I liked the badass one, but this one I thought was really good without every other sentence being the F word. I thought it was really, really good. I thought that's really good. And then I just also finished The 5 Levels of Leadership by John Maxwell, and that really put a big smackdown on me of realizing what kind of leader I am and what kind of leader I want to be. So right now, on top of my head, those are the 2 books that I thought were really, really good. But I mean, going back, I mean, anything from Darren Hardy, you know, Jim Rohn. I think my very first personal development book as a coach was the one in the back office. God, now I can't even remember what it was called. It was when they first started developing the list of personal development, and it was like 2. There was the Jim Rohn and this other one, and I can't think of the name of it right now. I don't know. Emma, do you know what it is?
Is it Compound Effect?
No, it was way before Compound Effect. I'm talking like 2009. Like, it was like literally in the back office, because there was a personal development section in the back office, and
GoPro was one of the first ones they showed me, and Eat That Frog.
no, God, what is it? I'll find it. No, it was like way before GoPro. GoPro is really good of teaching you scripts and how to talk to people. But I think that's what I used to send a lot of my new coaches, the GoPro, because it has really good scripts of teaching them. So that's a really good one of how to. But, you know, as far as like personal development to be a better leader or to be a better person, have more confidence, I think those 2 books are really good. I'm seriously going to go look. I have it listed in my team page. So I'll look for that. Okay, what was the second question?
Thanks, Teresa. That was super helpful. Okay, the second question is from me, and it's I've been having issues attracting leaders, and so I wanted to know what qualities you look for in recruiting a coach, because I know that we had talked on the 30-minute team call about just connecting with people and losing the avatar thing.
Yeah.
What do you look for when you're looking for a coach?
One of the main things that I look for when I'm talking to a coach is if they really have a strong financial why. I know that's not PC. I know it's not the coolest thing, but when somebody says that they really need to get out of debt, or they really want to be able to, buy groceries, they have a huge driving force. You know what I mean? There's something about not being able to pay bills or not being able to eat because eating is kind of important. You know, if they have something like that fire, you know what I mean? And then they are a little bit more outspoken. Like, I don't have to, like, when I ask questions, I don't have to ask for a lot of details. Like, I can ask questions and they can, like, send me a whole bunch of stuff. Then I know that they like to talk and they have a really good reason of why they need this to work, other than I just want this, you know what I mean? Like, they have to have a good reason why this needs to work for them.
No, thank you. That's helpful. I appreciate you keeping it real.
Yeah, it's honest. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. Oh, The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. That's my very, very first book, and where I learned about that whole penny thing. You know, and they say, would you want to have $1 million or a penny every day? And it teaches you, like, the little things that you do every day is going to make you more money than what you get really quick. That was my very first personal development book, and I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Teresa, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
Really quick, just going off of your last the last question. Now, how do you talk to the?
Oh, now I lost you. We can't hear you. I can't hear her now.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. So if someone's extremely financially strapped, you know, needing to put food on the table, having a hard time paying the bills, how do you talk them into spending that money to, I mean, because really, you know, being a part of the product, you've got to spend the money. And they're like, well, I'm hopefully going to keep PG&E on, this month. So how do you, kind of help them through that?
Well,
because this isn't a get rich quick. So
yeah, what I have told people in the past, and honestly, I've given this option, and it comes down to, like, when it's like that bad, like they have lost a lot of their positivity, so it doesn't work. But I've always given the options like, hey, sign up for On Demand. You have 30 days to kick some butt. 30 days before your credit card gets charged, but you can still use the products and have some results. It has not happened. It has not been successful because they don't use it. I mean, to me, that's like a perfect plan. You know what I mean? It's like, you have 30 days before it's going to hit your credit card. Let's go do this, but they have to come up with the $40. Yeah. I've had people borrow it. I've had people use their credit card. But usually I'm going to say my track record with that plan, like, I think it's a foolproof plan. But my track record with that is if somebody's used their credit card to buy something, they have been more fire in their butt to go do something than somebody that we waited for 30 days and the 30 days came, and I'll send them messages. I try to get them to trainings, who you talk to, give me your list, and then they just haven't done it,
Yeah.
Like I said, to me, that's a perfect, like, that's a, before it hits you, let's go do this. Get your 3 people, get your product, and start sharing, but they have to figure out something,
Okay.
I mean, I know it's hard, and if they can't afford that, then they really need this. It's something that Emma told me. She's like, well, if they can't do that, then they really need this. And I was like, and I said that, and then it was like, it scared them, and I stopped talking to them, but it's like I said, sometimes when they're like, it's that bad, they need more of the personal development so they can not feel defeated anymore. Like, there's 2 types of people. There's like, one person can be flat out broke and can't do anything. And then somebody the same way, somebody's going to like go bust their butt, and in 2 years from now is going to have a completely different life. The other one is still going to be in the same spot. That I can't predict on anything, no matter what they say or how they do. That's just, you just try, you give them the tools, you give them the ways they can do it, and you hope they can do it.
Perfect.
Awesome. Anyone else have a question?
I have a question.
For this Mama Boss Millionaire? I mean, come on. This is a rare opportunity, people.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Hi, Teresa. I've been watching you on Facebook, by the way, and I just appreciate all your teaching. So that's awesome. I have a question. I'm fairly new in Beachbody and just have 2 ladies under me, but I am in the Diamond Group and excited to move my business forward. And what would you say is the best? How do you get the best results once you actually get your ladies, or once you get your team going? What's the secret to keeping them and keeping the momentum going?
For me, I feel like if I can keep a communication with some of my coaches, like there's some coaches that don't communicate with me and there's some coaches that do. And I try really hard to keep some sort of like message every day, hi, how you doing, so that they know that I don't forget about them. And they're the ones that we talk to every day are the ones that I feel are doing it. And then also too, if I don't get a response, then I'm like, okay, hey, what's going, like I can like gauge like how to handle or talk to them if I don't hear from them. I'm like, wait a minute, so for me it's just is communicating, is like constantly trying to like always communicate with them, have them in some sort of group, have them in some sort of training, keep them in my accountability group for fitness to make sure that they're doing stuff. So it's just like, especially in the beginning, is like keeping contact with them, and making sure that they don't forget why they're doing things. Sometimes we forget,
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Welcome.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
My question is, what are you using to track your coaches and who you're talking to?
So for the longest time, up until probably like 3 weeks ago, I was very old school, and I was just using Evernote. I would, I used to like every week create a new Evernote note and have like a table where I'd have their name. I'd have 3 tables. One table where it was people I sent friend requests to, and so it was like their name, their link to their Facebook page, and where I met them. And then I'd have another table of people that I talked to about coaching, and another table about people I talked to about challenge groups or sent them anything about products or whatever. And then when I still used to send out samples, I used to have another table there setting who I sent samples out because I would forget to go follow up with them. So, I mean, and every week I would create that. That got too much after a while. So then I just started one huge table and one huge Evernote, and same thing, their name, what I talked to them about, their link to their Facebook page, a follow-up date. And if it was a hard follow-up date, I would put that follow-up date in my calendar so I could get an alert to remember to like send them a, hey, how you doing? Are you ready to order kind of thing? And I always make sure I kept the link to their Facebook page. That way I could just click on their link, because sometimes people change their names. I don't know why. And so searching for their names or whatever used to be annoying. So I would just click on their, and it was easy. I didn't have to go search. I just click on it. Their Facebook page would pop up. I could see what's going on in their lives. I could send them messages. Now at this moment, I am trying out something that's called Active Campaign. And this system, it's a little bit more of the pricier of that I've checked out before, but the reason I decided to try this is there was somebody that actually was going to hold my hand the whole time I was using it, and he actually creates all these like pipelines, and it's also automation in there, and you can send, and right now I actually have like a deal, a pipeline from my coaches, so I know when they started as a coach. I can even tell when they open up the welcome email, and then I have like this thing that they don't open up that welcome email in three days, they get the welcome email again. So I'm kind of liking it as like all in one kind of thing. It's been a pain getting it set up, but I have somebody that's doing it. And I just like the idea. I have these different stages where I was like, for a customer, it's like I had a free group. So I know when somebody fill out the form and all their information got into that system, and then I could move them, like they open the email, and then I could move them to, they join the group, and then the 3 people that bought a challenge pack, I was able to open them, put them in the end and say that I won the deal kind of thing. So that's what I'm using like that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. But I really started off really easy and just putting it in Evernote. Trying to get fancy.
Awesome, you guys. Thank you so much for being on the call tonight. Teresa, thanks for taking the time to share with us. I know you're busy.
I'm never too busy.
I I appreciate you, and I appreciate you like just setting the example and posting about this on Facebook all those years ago. I think about it all the time. Like, where would I be without coaching? Like, what if you never said yes? And then I never would have found it. And then all these people wouldn't be here. It's just crazy. So thank you, coaches, for being on and for your really good questions. That was a lot of.
Thank you, everybody. It made me feel special.
You are special. But okay, if you're in the Emerald to Diamond Push group and you want to mastermind, hang on the call. Talk to y'all later.
Bye.